It is now the last day of December 2024, and I am going to rank all four December 2024 movies that I watched, ranked from the worst to the best. Also, my ranking for my top 10 favorite movies of the year should be out in the next couple days, just so you know. And coming in fourth place, we have Night Bitch, and this is still a movie that I had a blast with. It is one of the dumbest movies I think I've. It was probably the dumbest movie I've seen this year, but I'm not gonna act like I didn't have fun watching it. Is one of the stupidest movies where Amy Adams plays a woman who is convinced she's turning into a dog. And it's very, very stupid and dumb. But if you want to see Amy Adams act like a weirdo, then this is the movie for you. And you want to see her roll around in the grass and pant and walk on all fours, then you're probably going to enjoy this movie. And this is a weird movie also because this movie is at the core of it is about motherhood and how they say how it unlocks some primal instincts. And it's weird because they're taking such a bizarre concept, and then there's also like this subplot like where she gets divorced, and it just turns into like kind of a overly sad movie for as stupid as it is. But it's still honestly quite a bit of fun. Like I'm glad I watched this. Like I said, I really half the time I was just in shock at what I was watching, at the absurdity of it. But to say that I was not bored during this movie. And the role, I feel like the main thing that a movie should do is keep you entertained, and I was entertained during this movie. And a lot of times I was also laughing at it, and I was part of me thinks that that was intentional. Like, yes, you are supposed to be laughing at it because it's so stupid. But at the same time I'm like did the person who made this movie like intentionally make like know how stupid this movie was? I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of just dragging on. Yes, this is a very dumb movie, but it is fun. And coming in third place, we have Werewolves. And this is a also just a really fun movie where it's just Frank Grillo fighting werewolves in this like werewolf apocalypse. And there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot of just campy, over the top violence that you're going to have a fun time with this movie. And I think also like just like with Night Bitch, I wouldn't really call this like a great movie, but it's just a fun movie. If you want some over the top action, if you want some, and one thing also, this movie is a very low budget movie, but I will say I really liked the designs of the werewolves, even though you can tell it looked kind of cheap. I think from an aesthetic point of view, from the art direction, I thought it was great, even if it wasn't like amazing in terms of actual quality in the VFX and suits and everything. And there's still, like I said, this is another movie where there's not really much to it, but I think if you're just sold on this premise as simple of just seeing just some awesome werewolf action, you're going to get that. I think Frank Grillo is very good in this movie. I think that there's a lot of fun action in this movie, but it's like similar to Night Bitch. It's like it's not like it's not amazing, but I wouldn't really say it's trying to be. So I don't really want to hold it to it. It's just trying to be a fun movie, and it is fun. You get the awesome action. Frank Grillo is fun, and outside of that, like I said, there's not much to it, but it wasn't trying to. It was a fun time. And coming in second place, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And this movie was, in my opinion, easily the best of the trilogy. I think that it was the funniest. I think that it had the most emotion. I think that, I will say, the action was great, although, I'm thinking about it now. I don't really remember any cool slow-mo scenes like there were in the first one. And that was my only main problem with this movie. But outside of that, like I said, it's so funny. Like just having two Jim Carreys, where Jim Carrey plays both Dr. Robotnik and his own grandfather, just interacting with each other is just so much fun. Like I love Jim Carrey, and it's like these are really the only movie scenes in nowadays. And watching this movie, it just makes you want to. It makes you just wish, like I wish he would just do more, because like he's just not really, like I said, outside of these movies, I don't even know if he's been in anything the past 4 years. outside of these movies. And I will say, when he's in these movies, he definitely brings it his all. He's still a blast. He still is what makes this movie work. And also, this movie also has the most amount of emotion, I think, of all three of them, particularly with Shadow. Because Shadow brings such a level of depth, I think, that this movie really needed, especially with how comedic it is. Because I would say, from a drama point of view, it is the most dramatic and has the most intense story with Shadow and Maria. And I thought that it was really just a blast of a movie. It was a beautiful movie. Like, and like I said, easily the best in the trilogy, one of the best video game movies of all time. And I just thought it was just an absolute blast. It was just a lot of fun. It was awesome and just funny as always. And just these movies are all just so charming. And I will say I hope they keep making more. I think they are, and I'm not bored of this franchise at all. I still think it's a ton of fun. And coming in at number one, we have Nosferatu. And this movie, I loved it. I've seen this movie twice already, and both times I'm just like, this is gorgeous. I love it. Like, and what I think makes this movie so good is, yes, this is a horror movie. But in many ways, I think this is just a twisted love story. Like, it's not a romance movie. But to me, I feel like instead of a rom-com, it's like a rom-horror. Because there's this disturbing horror story, I think, between Ellen, Nosferatu, and it's just, we have this twisted story. And Thomas, her husband, and it's all just intertwined so beautifully. And the performances here are fantastic. I mean, Lily Rose Depp, I'm like, this might be the best performance of the entire year from Lily Rose Depp. Bill Skarsgård is literally unrecognizable. Like, we all know how fantastic of an actor Bill Skarsgård is. And it's stuff like this where it's like literally, like, you can't tell. He's that good. Like, from his voice to his just movements to his breathing, it's just perfection. Like if he doesn't get any, if this movie gets no nominations, I'm just gonna be so sad because this movie is beautiful. I think. Also, although I will say maybe the only thing that's like slight negative, and I really do mean a slight negative, is I would say, like, in many people, like, I didn't really particularly even mind it. It's like, this is a horror movie, but it's not really particularly super scary, like, at all. I mean, it's much more, though, about that atmosphere that Robert Eggers is just so wonderful at. And because I just love, from whether it's the snowy atmosphere of Germany or just this beautiful, like sickening, like, atmosphere of inside Count Orlok's castle. It's filled to the brim with just gorgeous cinematography and performances, and just like I said, the atmosphere. I know it sounds generic, but it's just adds so much depth to this movie. From this already incredible story to these incredible characters, just visually, it's just gorgeous. And yeah, this is easily my favorite movie of the month and one of my favorites of the year. So yeah, that was my ranking of all 4 December 2024 releases that I watched from the worst to the best. Let me know, what was your favorite movie of December of 2024. Leave your ranking of every single movie that you watched this month in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this ranking, and subscribe for more rankings and reviews like this.